Hello, Abaddon Sentinel here, and welcome back to my videos on contrast paints. Today we're going to be comparing the World Eaters that I've been painting. It's a similar colour scheme to the Black Legion, the only main difference being that the armour panels are red rather than black. They've still got gold trim, the bolt guns are still going to be the same kind of colour. One major difference with this, however, is for these ones I've actually base coated the metallic trim with metallic paints rather than the Wraithbone or the Grey Seer. So you're going to see one with lead belcher and one that's been based with lead belcher and then had a layer of Runefang steel put over the top as well to make it a bit brighter. If you've got any feedback on my technique with the contrast paints, I'm quite happy for you to leave that down in the comments. If it's helped you, figure out how to apply them yourself, good. If you want to tell me what I might be doing wrong, why I might not be getting the results that I'm after, that's also appreciated. So I'll crack on with the video now and show you the World Eaters. So here they are, the two World Eaters models that I'm painting. Now at this stage we've just got the one on the left. He has had the trim and the gun and things like that. That's been blocked in with lead belcher with Runefang steel then painted over the top to make it a much brighter silver colour. Then the one on the right here has just been done with the lead belcher, so it's a little bit darker and duller. And I'm going to be painting Nasdreg yellow over the top of the trim and the Basilicanum grey over the guns, just to see what difference it makes using these metallics underneath as opposed to the Grey Serum Wraithbone that I used on the Black Templar models. So I'll be back when I'm ready to show you applying that. So here we have the Nasdreg yellow ready for going on. So I'll just grab the brush. I'm using a medium shade brush for this. Now obviously that does seem quite large, and it is a bit large, but at the moment I'm just wanting to do this kind of quickly, just to get it on there to show you guys what it's like. So I'll go ahead and open this and give it a bit of a shake. You can see it looks quite brown, so don't worry about that, it does go on yellow. I'll just move that to the side slightly. So you can see I'm going to be using it straight out of the pot. So I don't want to get too much on, so I'll wipe a little bit off. But then it's just a case of starting to splodge it on to this trim. So you want it to build up a bit, but obviously not too much, which is quite difficult to manage. If you do manage to put a bit too much on, it's alright. You can, if you just use a bit of like tissue paper or a bit of kitchen roll, or if you clean your brush slightly and dry it out, you can reabsorb it with the brush bristles and apply it somewhere else. So it's not too bad. You don't have to worry too much about accidentally putting too much on and letting it pool a bit much. Seems to be going on quite well. I'm quite liking the yellow over this metallic. This could well actually become my main way of shading my Chaos Marines. That is looking quite nifty to start with. So I'm basically just going to repeat that process over all of the trim. I'll just do a bit of the backpack to show you slightly larger areas. There we go. So you literally just slap it on like that. And like I say, it can be a bit messy, but hopefully if you choose your colours the right way around, so for example I'm doing this after I've done the red, it shouldn't dye the red too much. So the key is you put your darker colours over the top of lighter ones if you want them to cover it, but you have to be very careful. You can't really apply the lighter ones over dark, so that's why I've had to block it out. But doing the red first, as that is the main surface area, means that I'm not going to splodge that red all over the gold, which would have happened if I'd done it that way around. Sliding the brush against the edges is a good way to pull the paint off the brush, just to get it to sink into those recesses, and then you can play around with it a bit like that. Just reabsorbing it a bit. If you're not happy, put a little bit more on. Just mess around until you feel like it's at an acceptable level. Right, so that is the yellow, and I'll get that finished and I'll come back and show you the Basilicanum Grey going over the top. So there we have it. The trim is now done with Nasdrig Yellow on both models. Again, it's a single coat. I've been doing single coats for all 4 of the models I've been doing so far. You can already see the difference if we take a look at this large skull section on both models. Obviously they're slightly different, but you can see that the model on the left that had the Runefang steel is definitely a much brighter gold, and it's an actual metallic finish on it as well. It's not just the non-metallic effect that we were seeing from the colours on the Black Legion models that I did. On the right here, the one with the lead belcher base, it's a lot duller. Now you can still see that there's a metallic base there, still see that there's a metallic sheen, but it's definitely a duller gold. So it's much more like an old tarnished gold or tarnished brass or something like that. Whereas the one on the left is a much brighter, newer gold. So I suppose it depends on what kind of effect you're trying to go for with your marines, or whatever else it is that you're painting. So personally, for Chaos Marines, I think I prefer this one on the right that's been done with the lead belcher. I mean, I suppose it depends on which marines you're doing, but especially for World Eaters, when it's got to be, well, it's supposed to be a bit brassy, I think that one works really well. So if I do any other World Eaters, I'll probably do them like that if I'm doing large quantities. If it's small quantities, I'll probably try and paint them properly, but this is definitely, I think, a good way of saving time. Now, I will admit that it's still quite time consuming in terms of blocking out all of the silver bits to then overcoat with the Nasdrig Yellow, but it is definitely far less time consuming than the traditional painting method, simply for the fact that obviously once you've done that base coat, you just whack a layer of this stuff on. You don't have to worry about putting different layers on. You're not base coating, say, like with Balthazar gold, and then you're putting on a layer of Gehenna's gold and doing edge highlighting with Auric armor gold or something like that, that's what I usually use for gold on the trim. But this, you do your base coat of your lead belcher or your Runefang steel in the case of the one on the left, whack your contrast over the top, and bang, you've got a fairly decent, actually, gold colour for your trim. So I have to say I'm pretty happy with that. Next up, we've got on the other silver parts that haven't been coated yet, we're going to be doing the Basilicanum Grey. Now you'll notice there are like a couple of areas of spillage that I got with doing the Nasdrig Yellow. I'm not going to bother tidying them up for this, just because obviously it's just a quick kind of experimentation on video just to show you guys. So I'll do the same thing again and get set up for painting. I'll be back with you in a second. Right, so let's get on with doing this Basilicanum Grey. So again, just going to give it a quick shake. Open that up. Right, and just as the same as I did with the yellow, I'm just going to get a bit straight out of the pot onto the end of the brush. Try not to overload it too much, and just start slapping that on top. Maybe a bit more than that. That's the fortunate thing with the fact that it takes a little while to dry, is you can mess around a little bit while you're painting it, taking stuff off, putting a bit more on if you need to. You've got a bit of leeway. It's not like it's drying, within a few seconds. so you can really mess around with how thick you're putting it on. Now, as things currently stand doing this on this rune fang, this is very much reminding me of simply applying Null Oil over the top of a metallic with the Basilicanum Grey. I think I'm probably going to end up with a similar kind of effect as if I'd just put that on from an initial glance. But we'll see. Now, it's got to be a bit more careful this time, because obviously we've got to try and avoid any of the gold trim. You see I've spilt a little bit too much on there. Just dry the brush off a tiny bit, see if I can reabsorb some of that. I'll probably still end up being a mark, but it won't be too noticeable. Put a bit of it on the pistol. I'm just going to keep going around. There's not much to do in the terms of this kind of like silver that I'm putting on, so it won't take me long. I'll be back again in a few minutes. Now the Basilicanum Grey should be dry, so we can have a look at these two now. Biggest areas of the metal are obviously the guns. At first glance, it looks very much like lead belcher with Null Oil on it, to be honest. And that doesn't matter which one you're looking at. So this one obviously is the one that had the lead belcher base coat. This one had lead belcher and runefang steel. And with the Basilicanum Grey over the top, you can't see that much of a difference, I don't think. I don't know what you guys think. You know, you can always mention down in the comments if you've got more of an opinion on it, but it just to me it looks very much like lead belcher with Null Oil on it. Doesn't seem to have done anything spectacular. There's no like special contrast effects that have been going on. I mean, it could be just because of the surfaces I've put it on, it's not really able to do its job properly. Obviously they are, a lot of them are just small details, and it's not really giving it a chance to catch surfaces and you know, show the edges, sink into recesses, that kind of thing. But I have to say, overall, with that Basilicanum Grey, not that bothered. Could have just used lead belcher and Null Oil. The only bit I think that looks particularly nice is this spike here. I think that has shaded quite nicely. It's very smooth, nice transition, gives a nice bit of a highlight on that central part of the spike. I think that's done quite well. But other than that, I don't think contrast has given us anything extra there. So stick to your lead belcher and Null Oil, I think. Yeah. So that's going to be it for this video. If you're wondering why I haven't done anything with the loincloth on him, or the, don't know what you call those, the leather tassels on this guy, it's because I'm waiting until I've picked up a few more colours to mess around with. At the moment, I've still only got 4 different colours, no, 5 different colours, sorry, that I'm able to play around with. So once I've picked up some more, I'll be doing a bit of experimentation with, say, browns for like a leathery effect. Planning on picking up like the Gilliman flesh to test out on the head. You know, there's a lot more that's going to go into these, and I don't want to use up all the space on the miniatures with the few colours that I've already got. So you'll be seeing these guys return in a future video. See how we can make them look a little bit more interesting. But I think as a start, they've turned out all right. I still prefer the gold on this one for the World Eaters. It looks very much more like a brass than on this one. Well, an older brass that is. It's yeah, very nice, I think. I don't know how I'd get an equivalent to that with the standard technique. Sorry, traditional technique, Games Workshop call it. Trying to think which golds it would be, whether that's just a Retributor armour with Agrax Earthshade, maybe, get close to that. But yeah, I quite like it. Might start using that a bit more on other miniatures, like I say, see how it turns out. I'll be doing a bit more with these for the plasma. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. That one I might experiment with both contrast and a little bit of edge highlighting and stuff. But you get the idea. I've got some more things that I'm wanting to try out that I'll be showing you. Hopefully you'll find those interesting too. So I'll leave it at that. Let you guys make your own conclusions. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. It'll be interesting to hear your opinions on it too. Any suggestions for how I might improve the look of these things? I have had one suggestion to do with dry brushing Necron compound onto the Basilicanum grey areas on the Black Legion guys. So I'm going to give that a go at some point. So yeah, leave your suggestions. So there we have it, contrast paints over a metallic base. It's one that I've been thinking of experimenting with for a while, so I hope you enjoyed that. Remember, if you did, to like this video. You can comment down below with your feedback, and if you want to get notifications for more of my videos in the future, hit the subscribe button. See you later.